Once we've completed the data analysis section, we are then going to move down to our strengths and weaknesses. And for this section, we're going to use the step 1, find your strongest and weakest performing SEs report in AWARE. Again, if you don't know how to pull this report, please make sure you reference back to the teacher assessment resources where there is an instructional guide and a video on how to pull that report. Looking at this report, I am looking for strengths and weaknesses. I'm going to start with my strengths, and this is going to be any readiness SE that meets 80% or more of students. So, looking at my list of percentages, I have 2. The bottom 2, both are 80% or higher. So I'm going to first start by recording my percentage, 80.68. I'm going to round that up to 81%. Next, I'm going to write the SE keywords. We don't want this big, long, drawn-out SE written there. We're just going to do the keywords. So looking back, I'm going to say that this is y-intercepts, and that's what I'm going to type in. So this is y-intercepts. Now, many in the past have found it beneficial to also record the TEAC number. If you'll notice, the TEAC number here, learning standard, is a little different than what we're used to. Normally, we're used to seeing 6.2D, okay? These are only look at the last 2 digits, 9.A, 9.B. That would be the same thing as saying 6.9A, 6.9B. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and record that as 9D. All right, and the next one we did was 9E, and this one says writing using technology exponential. So exponential functions using a calculator. That was 9E. There is no right or wrong answer to your keywords. It's just whatever triggers that TEAC for you. The next thing we're going to be looking at, I forgot to record that, was 85%. The next thing we're going to be looking at then is the weaknesses. This is where we're listing the bottom readiness standards at 60% or below. Okay. Now, if you don't have any readiness standards that are 60% or below, congratulations, record your other standards that are 60% or below. For me, in this report, I'm seeing a 66, a 68, and a 74. So there are no weaknesses on this test. That's awesome. I did a great job teaching. If there were, I would follow the same process. I would record my percentage and write my TEAC and my keywords. Moving down to gap analysis, we're going to be using step 2. So up at the top, we're going to change to step 2 analysis and analyze test items for each SE. All right, so this is where we're actually going to go question by question. And I'm going to start with the first one, which is number 9. And I'm looking across at my percentages. I'm looking for any question that 20% or more students chose the same wrong answer. And if you don't know what the right answer is, it's right here, correct response. So A, we had 66%. 15 chose B, 10 chose C, 9 chose D. So that question's good. Looking at number 7, the correct answer is D. We had 58% choose D, 8% choose C, 11% choose B, and 23% chose A. So we are definitely going to want to look at this question. So I'm going to record 7. And I need to find my SE. This is for 9B. Now, if you don't know your SEs off the top of your head, then you can go back to your step 1, finding your strongest and weak SEs, and you can record them. So this is interpret the meaning of values. All right. So I am just going to say exponential functions. of that equation, and I'm actually going to do a little copying and pasting. And that was 9b. Ready? All right, and the next step is to look at the explanation of the gap. Why did so many students choose that answer? If you already know, you can go ahead and record it. You can also look at the test and, using your knowledge, determine why the kids chose the wrong answer. Or you can actually ask the students. Getting the student feedback or getting the student to tell you why they chose the wrong answer is going to be the best data you can have. You can do this in a number of ways. You can just do this straight oral, back and forth as a discussion, or you can actually have this as an activity where the student has to go in and for each incorrect answer explain why they got it wrong. And you can do this via paper. You could do this as a Google form so that all of it would compile and you could sort and have each question numbers right there together, and you can just copy and paste over what the kids said. So for this one, I'm going to say that they got the X and A mixed up. So when they were plugging in their numbers in the calculator, they got those two numbers mixed up every time, and so it always threw off the answer. All right, looking at the next one. And I need to go back to step 2. We are looking at 8 looked good, 3 looked good, 4 looked good, 5. All right, so actually that was the only question out of this group of questions that 20% or more chose the same wrong answer. One thing that tends to get the kids mixed up is academic vocabulary. Are you using the same terminology in your instruction day to day that the kids are tested on? Are you saying the sum, or are you simply saying add? Are you saying less, or are you saying least? Are you saying more? Are you saying greatest or greater? So those kinds of terminology, as you're previewing your test, please make sure you include. Other things could be miscalculations, and all those kinds of things. Some could be they guessed. Some could be that you had not actually gotten a chance to teach that section